I think starting the band was like one of the hardest things I've ever done. Like, I knew I had all these problems like when I was a kid, like the depression and the anxiety and that. And I thought to myself, like, what's the most impossible thing you can think of doing with the way you feel? And it was like leading a group of people onto a stage in front of an audience and entertaining them and giving everyone a reason to be there in the room. I thought that would just be the most impossible thing, and that if I could do that, then I'd be cured. It was so hard to get, like, I'm a weird guy, I'm a weird wee guy, and the songs are weird, so I'd kind of go to people like my pals when I was young and like float the idea of, you know, I've got these songs, you'll do something with them. And a lot of the time it was just no, or like, we'll sort something out, I know this vocalist. You know, they just assumed that it wasn't going to be me that would be at the front of it. If you're like Alex Turner, like imagine Alex Turner came to you and was like, you want to be in my band? You want to bet that you look good in my band? That makes sense, you know what I mean? Like a cool guy. And that's not me. By the time I was like coming up to 18, I'd already been beaten down and like told it was not happening by loads of different people. And I just wasn't happy. My reaction to that was just like, fuck off. I'm doing it. I had to learn to sell it even before we'd started doing the thing. I had to learn to sell it to people to just get them to play with me. Like, I had to learn a kind of confidence, and I did it. I met some people.
You know when like children meet each other and they just kind of stare at each other like that, and that's what I did. I was just like behind the drums, just like, and I hadn't met Danny, and then met Danny at the depot, and I never introduced myself to him, and he didn't introduce himself, and we just started practicing together, and then here he is, and then we live together now.
I think that's my biggest achievement in my life, just starting the thing. It got a little bit easier, but you know, the first few years of it, let me try and talk about the first few years of it. Let me try and sum up the first few years of it. I'd work these shitty factory assembly line jobs bottling booze during the day, and at night we'd meet up in a rundown old lighthouse and work on tunes together. We'd release an album and then delete it, and then release another one and delete that too. We were playing gigs to no one but the sound guy, and even he'd leave for a 20-minute smoke break. We were getting 100 CDs made and selling 3 to our parents, and they'd put it on in the car and not get it. Some guy called us Red Alert in a scathing live review and got stuck into me for wearing joggies on stage. One time a pub booked us to play on Christmas Eve, for all their punters sitting there having Christmas dinner. I think they thought we were a cover band and would be playing chilled Christmas songs, but we aren't, and we didn't. So they turned us down and down and down and then off, as all the family sat giving us evils over their spritz and gravy. Long story short, we got everything wrong and no one gave a fuck. And we did that for 10 years. There were so many bad gigs.
It was a pepperoni pizza. It came out and it was just cut up hot dogs on a pizza. And that was like our fee for the gig.
We used to take a desktop computer and a desktop monitor on stage. Like, you know, everyone else has a laptop. And Danny would be there like with the chunkiest desktop computer and monitor and mouse, like have a keyboard, like mouse and keyboard on the stage. Most gigs, that rig would fail, and then Danny would just be there troubleshooting whatever it was in silence for like half the set. Seriously though, there was a lot of time and effort and money spent to embarrass ourselves. We're really getting flamed online and in real life for being shit. I'd started the thing to help with my depression, and it had really started to do the opposite of that. And then COVID, and I went mental because all I was doing was working. I was going completely mental. I just sat down and like zoomed out on the whole thing and thought, I just like realised I was really unhappy with like the way we were doing it. It didn't feel 100% real. Like it felt like I was like trying to pretend to do something. I don't know, I was like writing like a fucking cunt. with all these like barriers for entry, like connection barriers, preventing connection, because I thought like certain bits were like clever or whatever. I thought, let's try and do something more honest and real. I started writing something, and I was so like fucked, like I was so like ill, like exhausted, and at the same time like just completely hyper focused on writing the thing. And I just thought, fuck it. And I found it quite funny, the idea of just like completely YOLOing it.
The songs were better, but I wouldn't been my job quite at that point.
I think he lost it a bit.
I just managed to like hype myself up into a frenzy that led to me throwing my job away to chase a dream. So I handed in my notice. I told them I'm gonna go and focus on my band. I feel like they probably thought I was this total delusional dafty, a wee normal guy leaving a steady job to pursue music. And that's exactly what I was.
I am Robin's accountant. Robin has decided to terminate his employment. He has £2,000 in his bank account and £650 in monthly expenses. His termination of employment is ill-advised. Ill-advised!
I don't have any qualifications. I found it really hard to find that job. So it wasn't like nothing for me to throw away. It really made me like really very anxious. It hit me hard. I had £2,000 roughly, and I thought at the time that's enough to last me a couple of months, which is enough time to record this music that I've just made. It sounds completely mental now. I immediately started panicking and looking for ways to like graft for small amounts of cash online. And I found this thing called match betting.
Match betting? He is gambling his £2,000.
So match betting sounds like a delusional beat the bookies roulette system type thing, but it actually does work. It's a real thing. It takes advantage of the predatory sign-up offers that the companies use to hook people in to their, let me just get my thesaurus, abominable, detestable, despicable, odious and contemptible business model. I think I got £1,000 from it, from like 2 weeks grafting, sitting in my underwear, trawling through bookies' websites. And I did that with Danny and my pal Adam, and it worked out pretty well. I had, I think, like £3,000 at the end of that, which in my head meant that I was good to go for the foreseeable future. While we were doing that, around about that time, Adam was always on this subreddit called Wall Street Bets.
Oh, no, he's not thinking of investing in meme stocks, is he? I can't keep up with this idiot boy anymore, throwing his money away on nonsense.
And I mean, that's not my thing. I'm not like a money guy. So I found it quite cringe at first, but I started reading some of the posts on it, and a lot of them were really like ridiculous, like people throwing away life savings on like ridiculous things. Every so often I'd find something in between the funny things or dark things that looked quite well thought out. I stumbled across this thread about GameStop.
GameStop. The GameStop.
One of the most volatile weeks on Wall Street.
Social media average Joes versus big money players.
A David and Goliath struggle.
GameStop up another 130%.
Watching the little guy beat the big guy.
We got into it so early and it became world news. I had just about finished my notice period at work and I had all my money in it. I'd say I was ill and go and shout on voice calls with Danny and Adam for most of the day. I was ill. I caught sight of my reflection in a bottling machine and my skin looked green. I didn't know whether to hold or sell. I stepped out of work on my last day and instantly shat it and felt so daft when it finally hit me I'd have no money coming in. I had £6,000 set for life. So yeah, without GameStop, none of the stuff that happened would have happened. Thank you, GameStop. I walked home in the sun and felt free. So where was I? So I did have a plan.
We had a plan.
Danny was working in this place.
I work here. in the studio?
He was interning in this place, this recording studio called Post Electric. He had keys.
And I had keys.
So my plan was that we'd sneak in here at night.
I thought they were sneaking in.
They thought they were sneaking in, but I do have a list of everybody that comes in and out of the building on the alarm machine.
And get this EP that I'd written, this sort of half album thing, done really quickly. It was going to be called Make Big Money Fast Online Now. And it was about all that GameStop and match betting stuff. We were making all these songs and videos. It was so fun. I started to feel like I was part of something in this creative hub.
Is this the music he's spending all his money on? This is shite!
Rod Jones from Idlewild runs this place. What do you think about us?
Depends what day of the week it is.
He's got this management company called Post Electric Artists with another guy called James Bruce and another guy called Kevin Brown. He'd hear little bits of the tracks we were doing through the door or whatever, and he must have liked it because they called us up and offered to manage us.
We had a conversation where it was like, you know, we see how they were singular, but they sort of fitted in their own way to what was happening in the music industry as a whole, and we thought they had a real shot, and it accelerated at a rate of knots.
Redolent on Radio 1.
Redolent.
Edinburgh-based Redolent.
And this is by Redolent.
This is one of the best new things I've heard in a very long time.
That is Make Big Money Fast Online Now.
Make Big Money Fast Online Now. Good advice.
For the first time ever, things were going well. We got on the radio and people were writing about us. It was this completely unfamiliar experience. People had good things to say about what we were doing.
Marks out of 10 for the song.
10 from me.
I love that. I was actually listening to this one earlier when I was in a hot bath.
It's the most popular track, which means we'll play that again next week.
Well, I really like that. It's catchy. It's definitely an air one.
That would go straight to the top of the chart in my personal BBC Introducing mixtape.
But yeah, no, I really like it. The lyrics are class.
Make Big Money Fast Online Now. An excellent title for a tune.
Just before we came on air, I absolutely love that song by Redolent.
I'm going to be singing that on the way home.
Danny, you messaged saying labels are interested, lol. And I was like, what?
We got a message from the manager of the 1975 on Instagram saying he liked our tunes. It seemed too good to be true.
My initial
Really
gut
was.
feeling was that, like, we're getting scammed.
Yeah, scam.
Yeah, this is a scam. That's not Jamie Oprah.
Yeah, it's a elaborate scam.
Yeah. I remember I went through his whole profile and stuff just to make sure that it was actually him, you know what I mean?
So I thought it was going to blow over or someone would ruin it somehow, but it didn't, and it just kept going and going and going. It was like this label, that label, they were all on the emails, and then they started appearing up here in Edinburgh and they started taking us out for all these dinners. EMI, pizza,
Oh yeah.
Polydor, tacos,
Nice.
Columbia, pizza again in the same place. Island, I got beef stew and mashed tatties.
Fried aubergine.
I think I got mac and cheese.
And they were all telling us how great we were and doing their like A&R shtick on us, and it worked. It was fucking fun. I got hit by a bike after one of the dinners. Next thing I knew, we were in London at the Sony Columbia HQ. We were about to become label mates with Robbie Williams and Adele. They said we might meet Harry Styles at the Christmas party.
I was still looking for scammers. I just felt even then was like, this is all, they've set this up in the centre of London. It's a big scam.
It's a 10.
So I remember being around a massive table. There was about 15 people. It was a very important day. It was the day we were all there for business. We were signing with Columbia Records, and in front of us at a table was I would say a buffet of cakes and baked goods, and I was buzzing. And I thought, okay, like once we get all this signing nonsense done, get out of the way. I'm coming for those cakes. And I was eyeing up one. I was ready for it. And then
what one were you?
It was like a custardy kind of thing. And I thought, that's mine. That one's mine. And we signed it, and they said, why don't we give you a little tour of the building? And I thought, all right, I'll come back for the cakes. I thought, right, okay, we'll get this tour done, and then let's get back to the cakes. And we did the tour, we came back up, and it was all gone. All the cakes were gone. I didn't have one single cake. And I was devastated.
A guy stopped me in the corridor and said,
"This is it. You've made it. The biggest record label in the world."
So yeah, we signed a deal and they gave us enough money to all pay ourselves slightly below minimum wage for 2 years.
How much? How does he keep getting away with this? I have never in my 50 years as a chartered accountant seen anything like this. Insanity!
None of it made any sense. We had like 500 followers on Instagram. One of the biggest corporations in the world. We were on the hook. I felt a big pressure and like a big company looking over my shoulder.
In my head, we were fucking rock stars. We're gonna be massive. I was gone. I was completely gone. I was lost in it.
I just remember waking up and buzzing to get to the studio and just like couldn't believe that this was our job. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, we were going in full time making music.
I just felt like we were on holiday for ages.
Every day was like this really nice dream that I just wasn't waking up from.
Travelled all over the UK, we went to Texas. We were just all over the place in a van together.
I was just having such a nice time.
It finally felt like we were just a proper band.
They sent us a suitcase full of clothes and we stayed late just putting on these clothes that they sent us. And a lot of them were pretty strange. We were touring around and we were recording the album that was going to turn into Dinny Greet. Dinny Greet means don't cry in Scottish. It's my attempt at a cure for depression. It's me telling myself don't cry, and anyone else who needs it, don't cry. I need hyper-focus to keep my mind off the dread, and I had that hyper-focus for years with Dinny Greet. It saved my life. I made it in the hope that other people could hyper-focus on it too, that it could take their minds off things. When you're flying down a flume, dread can't get to you as easily. You're going too fast, it's too fun. I wanted to make something like that, a wee go down a flume. They kept saying to me, things are not album orientated anymore. It's all about short releases, Spotify, algorithms, TikTok. It's all about TikTok now. You're not getting your wee album. It's not happening. Dinny Greet's not happening. You need to forget about it, son. I just wanted to do an album. It meant so much to me. All my favourite things are albums. So I kept having to say no over and over again. They kept coming to me and it started to get really difficult because I was having so much fun and I liked them all. The head of the label left and the new guy that came in did not like us and we got dropped immediately.
Not many people know that they actually physically pick you up and drop you.
Yeah. Which was pretty shit, but it did mean that we got to do our album.
The Scottish Album of the Year 2024 winners, redolent!
The
electronic indie band Redolent have won the Scottish Album of the Year award. It's for their debut release, Dinny Greet.
Dinny Greet. Dinny Greet. Dinny Greet, which is Scottish for don't cry. Dinny Greet.
Dinny Greet. Tell us what Dinny Greet means.
It means don't cry.
It's just unbelievable. We've been through so much together. We kept each other going. We never gave up. I'm just so happy we never gave up.
I booked a holiday with my mum and dad in Portugal.
I was like, Andy, don't worry about it. We're not going to win.
I remember asking you guys and Rod.
Everyone told.
I was like, is there much point of me staying home and going to this thing? And everyone was like, no.
The answer was a resounding.
It was absolutely not.
Everyone said no.
No chance. Go and enjoy your holiday. I got off the phone. It was me alone by this like pool on holiday, and it was only me and the girl behind the bar who I went up to, and I said, I've just won Scottish Album of the Year. And she did not know what the fuck that was. And she just went, great.
So what's the secret to breaking through as a band these days?
Do you know the secret? Anybody else know a secret?
No.
Well, I would say, I know, I'll tell you. No, I think we really work hard, and I think because we all really enjoy each other's company also helps a lot. You know, we're always with each other, we're always working, we're always getting along. So the secret is be pals and try hard, really.
Starting a band was the best thing I ever did. We're a family. We've been through so much together. When it's good, it's 1,000,000 times better than it would be on your own. And when it's bad, we pick each other up and say, Dinny Greet.